Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Looking sexy as hell as usual. For those of you who say I don't look sexy as hell drinking my morning coffee, nobody cares what you think. Didn't ask you shit. Alright, let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep people updated with what I'm doing with my diet at any given time because people care. Particularly as I continue to get leaner, they care. And as many of you know, I explained that my diet, other than lean animal proteins during my lean bulk last year, when you guys saw me pause bench 365, did 315 for 8, all that stuff. Other than my lean animal proteins, my diet was pretty much plant-based at that point. I messed around a little bit again with some lower carb stuff because, again, I've noticed some things with my inflammation in my body and my autoimmune issues. And when I went lower carb, they got worse. So I resorted back to that idea of loading as many plants and fiber and all that stuff as I could into my diet. And guess what? Did it for over about a month, and guess what? My skin got better, and it's not perfect, by the way. For those curious what the red with my skin, that's psoriasis. It's the reason I had to start shaving my head. I am fully aware I've had thinning hair. Okay, but it's the reason I don't grow a beard because my face starts bleeding. And I have Meniere's disease, which has an autoimmune component. I'm in the later stages of it. No, it's not deadly. But I was diagnosed with bilateral Meniere's disease. It started originally in my left ear, which my left ear, for those curious, is partially artificial. I have a skin graft, bone and skin tympanoplasty in my left ear, and I was deaf in that ear for 8 years, completely deaf, during my childhood, up until I was about 13. But yes, I do have a full diagnosis for that. And I know people dispute that, but it's irrelevant. It is in my medical records. So I do deal with some different autoimmune stuff, and for me, keeping that under control is very important. And the thing is, I'm not doing any of this for any ethical reason. So when I've said I'm going to experiment more, and it's starting today. I finished off all my animal proteins yesterday right after I trained, and I'm easing into more plant-based. I'm doing this purely for health reasons because I have shown before that I could do a fully plant-based diet. I had over a 500-pound squat on a fully plant-based diet many years ago, right? I did it for like 6-7 months. And I thought, look, let's work with this a little bit. Because again, I noticed the larger my plant intake, my phytonutrient intake, the better my health tends to be, the better my recovery is. I mean, even recently, look, I have the carbs up again. Look at my training volumes that I'm able to recover from. And I'm not having major soreness, no major DOMs. You guys are watching me do 40 pretty hard sets for upper body, 30 plus sets for lower body, done twice a week each. The training volumes are high, recovery is good. So I'm like, let me take it a step further. And some people would say, so why do that? Mainly because when you start looking at some of even the more plant-based protein sources, tofu, things like that, the quality of fat, the anti-inflammatory nature of the fats, the isoflavones, all this stuff of saying, look, if I want almost everything that I eat to provide ultra high quality nutrition, I want my phytonutrients, antioxidants, fiber, all of these things as high as possible. Now, does that give necessarily an advantage for training? No. So when I say that, I'm not telling people this is body composition. I'm not telling people that a bro diet doesn't work, because that's come up also, and I mentioned that. People are like, are you saying bro diet, a chicken, broccoli, and rice diet won't work? No, I'm not telling you that at all. Of course it'll work. When you're chasing body composition, absolutely. Right? But what I'm looking at this point is quality of life, health, longevity. All right, I'm 47. I have to think about these things more and more and more and more. Again, like I've said, my goal with a lot of this in the YouTube fitness from my era is to be the last man standing. Look how many of them have dropped. Who all is still in good health from that crew and still making content? Me, Chris Jones. I guess, here we go. We're going to have a race. Chris Jones and I, let's have a race to see who can outlive the other. There we go. As I joke and people say, you're going to be the last man standing. I'm like, I don't know, man. Chris is pretty dang healthy. Chris is going to be pretty dang healthy. So maybe we should have a friendly challenge to see who can outlive the other and stay fit the longest number of decades. Now, before anyone says, are you challenging? It's not a challenge. That's actually a good thing. That's a good thing. Because if he and I are still doing this 20 years from now, we're both winning. You know, you got to look at it that way. That's a win-win. But yeah, no, I want to be the last man standing in this game. I don't think it's going to help me gain muscle any faster. Although here's the thing I'm going to say. I bet I'm going to get leaner still though on it. I bet you it's going to make the cutting even easier. Mainly just because of the satiety, right? Because I've been using dairy and whatever, and I have a feeling, man, I'm going to be even fuller. Because I do fast in the mornings, and then I go over and do most of my plant-based. So what I'll probably do is definitely load after training, plant-based protein. But I mean, I can show you guys what I'm doing with my food periodically. I put up pictures on social media to give an idea. But yeah, I'm pretty much doing a whole foods plant-based diet. Now, some people will say that's vegan. No, it's not vegan. Okay, people need to understand. Veganism allows for all sorts of junk food, really, in my opinion. Plenty of unhealthy, unfit vegans. And it's an ethical philosophy based around trying to minimize any exploitation and harm to animals. I'm not interested in doing that. I am interested purely in a health-based situation to where my health, my longevity, those things improve. Okay, it's not an ethical, I'm not following an ethical-based philosophy. It's an ethic of myself. Okay? And it doesn't mean I'm going to turn away those things in social gatherings because, again, you're talking about a strict ethical stance. No, if I'm at a social gathering and that's what they're serving, I'm not going to be rude in somebody's house and not eat the food. So it's a very flexible thing. Because I do social gatherings and get together enough that, at least a couple of months to where I may be in situations to where that's what they're serving and I didn't bring all my own food and no big deal. Okay? No big deal. But my day-to-day is going to be pretty much plant-based. I'm not going to really consume any animal products. And I'm going to try it for a little while. I want to see what happens with my health if I do this. Because I already know enough about nutrition to make it work. For some reason, I always get people like, you don't know about nutrition. And it's like, even 8-10 years ago when I was doing this before, I was explaining how we combine different things to increase the absorption of them. How vitamin C intake in the same meal with our iron mixing these foods will increase the iron absorption. So shut up, guys. I very clearly know a lot about this. I very clearly know a lot about protein metabolism, fructose metabolism, bioavailability of protein. And that's the tricky part to this. This is where you have to know what you're doing. And that's why I tell people plant-based is not the most, if you don't know nutrition, it's gonna fail. If you're trying to build muscle and you don't understand nutrition, that sort of approach is going to be a problem. Okay? Because one, dietary deficiencies, two, getting enough bioavailable protein. That's the key. And that's kind of the challenge, is to always be looking at the protein of your foods all the time if you're doing this. Right? And that's what you have to look at. So I'm going to run with it. I'm going to see how it does. I will keep everyone posted. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.